News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
A Montanan witnesses Trump's acceptance speech last night in Cleveland. Good morning, everyone. Montana Morning. It's congratulations. You made it. It's Friday, July 22nd, 2016. The year is racing by. Right now, the sky is clear. It is another beautiful morning in western Montana. Exactly the same temperature we had 24 hours ago. It is 54 degrees in Missoula. Our newscast this morning, sponsored by Kootenai Creek Village, the maintenance-free active adult community in Stevensville, the best of western Montana living. Call 777-5387. Former chairman of the Montana Republican Party, Will Deshaw Sr., witnessed the acceptance speech by Donald Trump last night at the Republican National Convention in Cleveland. He told me last night that Trump's speech followed a familiar pattern.
It's like any speech from a nominee for a presidential election. They're going to list a whole bunch of things that resonate with the voters, a lot of ideas and not a lot of specifics, but then, of course, that's how it's done.
Deshaw said the majority of items brought forward by the candidate cannot be accomplished unilaterally.
Obviously, there's a lot of things that get promised that have to have congressional concurrence. But if he keeps going to the people like he has been, the people will start pushing their congressmen and their representatives to start moving.
Now it's the Democrats' turn. There is talk that to counter the reaction to Trump's speech, Hillary Clinton may name her vice presidential running mate later today. A newly released federal report shows that Montana accounts for 14 Salmonella cases in a nationwide outbreak linked to backyard poultry flocks that has sickened hundreds of people around the country. The Billings Gazette reports the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention study said the cases are part of 8 outbreaks that have infected 611 people in 45 states. The cases have been linked to contact with flocks of live backyard poultry, including chickens, ducks, and geese. Dana Fejes with the Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services said the 14 cases in the state have not yet been contained to one certain area. She said they represent an increase from the state's average yearly number of confirmed backyard poultry-related salmonella cases, which is usually only about 5 or 6. Included in Missoula Mayor John Engen's proposed budget is a request for 2 new sworn police officers and 2 non-sworn community service specialists. Police Chief Mike Brady explains why he believes the positions are necessary.
We've had consistent difficulties in having sufficient staff to deal with the numbers of people that come in for the summer. The downtown gets very busy. It gets busy not just with people patronizing the local businesses, but also with those that are down there creating disturbances, disorderly, they're aggressively panhandling, and they're intoxicated on the street.
The City Council debated this week how many, if any, of these positions to fund. Brady explains the cost of full approval.
If all 4 were funded, the request for this budget is about $200,000. Some of that includes some vehicle and equipment. So it's going to be somewhere around a $350,000 ongoing expense.
Some city council members opposed the request. Councilperson Emily Bentley said the positions are probably not needed and that the money could be better spent on other issues like potholes, street trees, and planning. The owners of a Colstrip coal-fired power plant will stop filling leaky storage ponds with contaminated wastewater under a settlement agreement with environmental groups. The agreement signed yesterday calls for 2 newer units of a Colstrip steam electric station to convert to a non-liquid disposal system for its bottom ash by 2018 and its scrubber waste by 2022. In a settlement and a separate lawsuit, Colstrip's owners plan to close the plant's 2 older units by the year 2022. An estimated 200 million gallons a year of contaminated water seeps from the plant's ash ponds. The Montana Environmental Center Information Center, Sierra Club, and the National Wildlife Federation sued over the leaks, which continue despite a 2012 agreement between Colstrip and the Montana Department of Environmental Quality that was supposed to clean up the contamination. Gubernatorial candidate Greg Gianforte announced this week that if he becomes governor, he will not be taking a paycheck. On a 2-day tour in Billings, Gianforte said in prepared statements that he had bigger plans for his salary should he be elected.
We've had enough of career politicians in Helena who think the people are here to serve them. It's supposed to be the other way around. That's why when I'm elected governor, I'll dedicate my salary to a special manufacturing scholarship for veterans and low-income Montanans. This is about serving Montanans and providing better outcomes for working families.
Gianforte also committed to participating in 3 more debates across the state yesterday.
There's a clear choice facing voters this fall. On one side, we have 2 career politicians. On our side, we have a guy who started a successful high-tech company in Bozeman, along with a 4th-generation Highline rancher. I'm hopeful the governor will commit to these debates.
Governor Bullock has yet to comment on whether or not he'll participate in those debates. Actually, we do have an update on that story right here. Governor Steve Bullock and Republican challenger Greg Gianforte have both agreed to 3 more debates, just not all the same ones. Both campaigns agreed to participate in a debate in Billings, hosted by the Billings Gazette, Color Television, and Yellowstone Public Radio. The Gianforte campaign says that debate is tentatively scheduled for September 27th. Gianforte and Bullock also agreed to participate in a debate sponsored by the Montana Television Network, but Bullock wants it held in Great Falls, while Gianforte is pushing for the location to be Columbia Falls. Bullock also committed to a debate sponsored by Montana PBS that Gianforte has not agreed to. The Bozeman businessman did commit to a statewide radio debate sponsored by the Northern Broadcasting System, but Bullock has not agreed to that one. Just do it right here in our studio. Yeah. The new Missoula director of a refugee resettlement agency says displaced people from the African nation of Congo should arrive in Montana in August or September. Molly Short-Carr of the International Refuge Committee told the Missoulian that there is a push to move refugees out of Africa. More than 150,000 people have fled Congo because of civil war. Missoula County Commissioners previously invited up to 100 refugees a year to resettle in that county. The invitation caused backlash among protesters, concerned the refugees would come from Syria. The protesters feared that terrorists could slip through the vetting process. Carr says Syrians will not be among refugees initially settled in Missoula. There are only 2 seasons in Montana, it's said, winter and road construction. It seems to be more true than ever this summer. There are construction projects around almost every corner in western Montana. Some of the busiest areas include Highway 93 south between Missoula and Hamilton. Ed Taves is Missoula District Administrator with the Montana Department of Transportation. He describes the largest project underway.
We're working on the crack sealing of the road, where we go in with a crack seal material that has to be applied in the daytime because it needs the warmer temperatures to adhere to the concrete. But that should be finishing up on Saturday if everything goes well.
Taves explained the next step in the process.
Once that crack seal work is done on Saturday, we have to wait about 30 days or about a month to apply what we call microsurfacing, or a thin layer of asphalt to the highway. And so that's kind of the next big milestone.
A large sewer extension project is also underway in the Linda Vista and Miller Creek areas. Newstalk Times 6:13.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Mostly sunny skies today with an isolated shower or thunderstorm. Daytime highs will top out in the mid-80s. Winds will be breezy with wind gusts to 30 miles per hour. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for Missoula's KECI 13.